Hello everyone, Courtney here from How to Loom Your Dragon. Welcome to part 2 of the adult Skullcrusher tutorial. This part is going to be a little bit tricky, okay? We are going to be working on the main body, but because his body is very bulky and oddly shaped, it might be a little bit tricky, so just bear with me, okay, because there's a lot I have to remember in this portion, so I might make an error. Check the description of this video before you start to see if I make an error, and if so, then you're going to need to use a device where the notes pop up, like not a mobile phone. You'll need like a computer or something. That way you won't make the same mistakes that I made. So just check the description and make sure that I didn't say, oh, I make a mistake here, okay? If I didn't say that in the description, then you're totally fine doing it the way you're doing it. Okay, so there's hair everywhere. We're going to start by making the plates behind his head on his neck. Okay, so I'm going to be taking that regular green, okay, that we used on the wings and the legs, okay, and just follow me. I'm taking 2 at a time. Okay, so just so you know, we're going to be making 3 of these and then 3 facing the opposite direction. Okay, but I have already made mine, so if you want to leave this on here and use this area down here to do the opposite one, okay, you can do that. Alright, but we will be making 6 of these in total, 3 facing this way and 3 facing the other way. Okay, if you don't know how to do symmetry, just hold the screen in front of a mirror and you'll see. Okay, and the reason we do it like that is because they will bend in opposite directions. So here's one plate. You need to make 2 more exactly like this, and then 3 facing the opposite direction, so that they bend opposite ways. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Let's see. See, like, this one bends opposite direction. Okay, so make 3 of each. Alright, so you should have 6 of those, and then we're going to be doing another just simple green plate. Okay, again, taking 2 at a time. Okay, cap this off. Okay, this is the only one of this kind we are going to do, just so you know. Okay. Alright, I'm going to tie this off. Okay, so I have one of these and 6 of those other ones, okay? Alright, now I'm going to be doing the ones with the yellow spikes on them, so let's make some of those yellow spikes. So take your yellow, I'm going to wrap one 5 times around your hook, okay? Double loop one, and pull that onto there. So this is one of those yellow spike things. You want to make 7 of these total, so you might as well do that now. 7 of the yellow spikies, okay? Alright, and then we're going to be making the plates with the yellow spikes. Okay, so alright, so let's start with that. So I'm taking 2 greens at a time. I'm using like used bands, so it takes a while for me to grab them because they're a little bit twisted up. Oh well. Okay, cap this off, wrapping a band around, creating 4 loops. Going to double loop a green across here, and another one across here, and then I'm just going to take 2 at a time, across here, and here. Okay, so dig down and loop up the first 2, and then the next 2, and the bottom 2. Okay, I'm going to loop up this side. And this side. Okay, I'm going to take one of those yellow spikes. I'm going to put it right onto this peg here. I'm going to loop up. Grab another one. Loop up. And one more. Loop up the rest of the way. Take a tying band, doesn't matter the color. Tie off your end here. pull that off. Okay, that is your first plate with the yellow spikes. Gotta make another one that's a little bit bigger. Oh, it's gonna be so cute. Okay, we'll take the greens. I know I'm going to actually put these here. Alright, and just take a green and cap off the end here. Wrap it around, creating 4 loops is fine. Okay. Dig down, loop up. Alright, take a yellow spike. That right there. Loop up. Take another one. Another one. And one more. Okay, I'm going to loop up these. Okay, so here we have our second one, okay? So you should have this big one, the little one. You should have this one. Just gonna go back here. And then 6 of the other ones that we started with, okay? Whew. Alright, now let's see if I can do the body without messing up miserably. Haha. Alright, so you're just gonna have to be patient with me during this part because it took a lot to plan and hopefully I won't mess up anything. Okay, so I'm using the regular green, as you know. I'm gonna put 2 of them like that. Okay. Here, lift these up. I'm going to put 2 bands there instead first, and then that. Okay. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm again taking 2 at a time, like that. Oh wait, I'm sorry, these should be caramel brown. Sorry, guys. Caramel brown for those. Because he does kind of have brown in his body. And that's the way I did it with the baby, so let's match it. Okay, now I am going to take two and lay them here. Two, lay them here. Two, lay them here. Two, lay them here. Lay them here. Two, lay here. Two there. Two there. Just kind of push them down if you have to, just because we want them to stay on there. Two here. These two I'm going to stretch across these two. Okay, that was not a double looped band. Those were two bands that I just put across those two. And I'm also going to put two here. And two here. Like that, okay? Now I'm going to take my guy's head, okay? We're going to hold it right side up. You're going to go through the center set here, behind the head. Go through the loops, okay? And we're going to wrap them around this peg, okay? Then we're going to take this set here next to it and wrap those around this peg. And last but not least, this set and wrap them here. Okay? Make sure those bands stay around the peg there. So these two sets here are hanging off. We did not attach them. Okay? Alright. Now, I'm going to take one of my front legs. So remember, the front legs are a little bit different from the back legs. Okay, they're a little bit shorter, so make sure you take one of the front legs. You're going to go through the 6 loops that are being tied off. And we are going to wrap those, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on the 7th peg in this column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to wrap it so that the toes are facing toward the head and the elbow is facing back, okay? Then I'm going to take one of my wings, okay? You're going to hold it like this, okay? Go through, you have 2 tied off sets here. I'm going to go through this one, the top one, as long as it behaves. Okay, and I'm going to wrap it around this peg here. Alright, I'm going to go through the other set and wrap that set around this peg next to it. Oops, I missed one. You stinker. So annoying when you miss. There's like 6 loops there. You want to wrap them all around. Did I miss more? Yeah. Hold on, guys. To get this right. Okay. So I wrapped them around those 2 pegs, and these caramel bands are coming off, so I'm going to re-put them on. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take one of my, let's see, you want to take the 3 of your, remember we made 6 of that plate, you want to take the 3 that are bent this way, okay, with the tying band here, right, and the cap band at the bottom corner here. So take all 3 that are like that. There's my other one. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the loops. You can follow the band through those loops. Okay, I'm going to wrap one around this peg here. Like that. I'm going to take another one. Go through those loops again. And wrap that one around this peg. Okay, and I'm going to take the third one. Yeah, and this one goes around this one. Okay, like that. Alright. Now I'm going to loop the bands up, okay? So let's start on this side here. Don't worry about the tying bands, we can always take them off after. Just make sure you're very careful as you do this because we don't want to mess anything up. This foot I'm just going to kind of lift up or lift to the side while I loop these bands, and I can put it back like that. Loop right over that foot there. Continue up. Okay, here we want to grab the top 2, which are the vertical ones. I'm kind of just lifting those plates up so we don't catch them. Okay, then we want to dig back down in here and grab the bottom 2, which are the 2 horizontals. Okay, don't forget that. Alright, and now we want to grab the top 2, which are the These two, loop them up right over that peg that the plate is attached to. Bring all the way down, grab the bottom two here, wrap those up. Loop right up to the wing here. Go up again. My caramel bands are falling off on the side there. Don't worry, I'll fix them as I go. Okay, I'm going to loop up the two verticals here. Okay. The two caramel bands are already on this one because they're underneath the plate, so I'm going to just loop up. Okay, the two caramel bands are in the right spot, so I'm going to loop up. These two fell off, so I'm going to put them back on. Okay, these are on, so I'm going to loop up. Okay, taking 5 random color bands, I'm going to tie off my ends here. And carefully lift this off. Oh, you know what? Before we lift it off, we don't want to forget to loop these two bands here, like that. Those two, don't forget. And I'm also going to tie those off with white as well. Or whatever color, it doesn't matter. Oh, a Skullcrusher. Okay, so we did half of his body. We still have to do the other half. Or half of the front part of the body. We still have to do the other half of the front. Okay, so I'm going to do that first before I take off any tying bands. Alright, just don't lose track of this one here, okay? This tied band with this one here that we tied off just before. Don't lose track of that, okay? Alright, so I'm going to work on the other side. Okay, so again, just bear with me. Luckily, we made it through that side without a problem. Hopefully, we'll make it through this side without a problem. Ho ho ho. Alright, so I'm taking 2 greens at a time, just like I did before. Okay. Now, like before, hold on, I just have to fix something in my diagram really quick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Taking the caramel, okay, 2 at a time. All right. Now, take your other front leg, okay. Hold it like this, again, so the elbow is facing the back and the toes are facing the front. And we're attaching it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 7th peg from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this peg here. So stick your hook through those loops and wrap them around this peg here. Okay, like that. Okay. Let's take our other wing. Okay. And like we did before, let's go through the loops here. Again, make sure your wing is facing this way, okay? These loops are going to go around this peg. And these loops are going to go around this peg. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to take my guy, you know what, let's make some brown spikes. We're going to make some caramel colored spikes really quick. Wrapping a caramel around, creating 5 loops. Double looping a caramel. Reclaiming. And one more. Wrap around, reclaim. You're going to make 2 of these for now. We'll make more later. Put them aside. Alright, now we're going to grab the other 3 of those base plate things. Okay, the 3 that are facing the opposite way. Okay, they're all the same. And let's see. Stick your hook through the loose ends. Okay, so you're going to wrap this one around this peg here. Like that. Okay. Now you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my guy, okay? Because before we attach the other 2, we actually need to put the horizontal bands on, which are on this half of the body. So, you're going to take your guy, and you have this end in the middle here, behind the head, which we had attached to the other side. We're going to go back through that and wrap that around this peg. Okay, so the middle set, again, gets wrapped around that peg there. This next set, this loose set here, you're going to wrap around here. And this final set here, you're going to wrap around here. Okay. Now what I can do now is I can loop up all the way up this row. So I'm going to do that now, since I can do that. Let's see, let's loop up. Again, we can move that foot temporarily. Okay, I can also loop up the second column here. Go right over that leg. I can loop up this third one as well. Okay. Let me just look at my diagram. Okay, I'm gonna loop, oops, lift those bands off there. I'm gonna loop over this horizontal set. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to loop up this column. Okay, so loop up this column. This is so like nerve-wracking. Hoping I do this right. Alright, now. Okay, grab the rest of your base plate things, okay? We are going to be taking the small one with the yellow spikes. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my hook through the loose ends. There's a lot of loose ends on this guy. Okay. And I'm going to attach them to upside down. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep it on my hook. And I'm going to go down and grab those two bands, these two diagonals. And once I've grabbed them, I'm going to pull this thing through them. Okay? Loop it up. Okay, so now this thing should be facing this way. The yellow spikes should be on this side, not on this side, okay? You want to make sure you attach it so the yellow spikes are showing up here. Okay, great. Now, take another look here. I'm going to loop. We're going to take him. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay. These, remember that these we have these two sets of the caramels, so we have 1 and 2. We're going to ignore those right now, okay? And we're going to pay attention to this set, which is tied off. It's a tied off green set with the brown bands through it, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap those around this peg here. like that, okay? Don't worry about the rest of this stuff right now, okay? Then I'm going to go in there and take those brown bands that are in there and stretch them across to here, like that. Okay, now once I've done that, I'm going to loop up these 2 bands, like that. And now here, I'm going to take my plate, this plate, okay, with the 4 yellow spikes. And I'm going to stick my hook through all the loose ends in here. Push it down on your hook. And then we are going to dig down and loop up this diagonal. And as we loop it up, we are going to pull we want to pull this onto here so the yellow spikes are facing the same direction as these, which means that, I think I did mine backwards. Yeah. I think I did this backwards. I think I stuck my hook in the wrong direction. Not that it matters. Well, it does kind of matter. Hold on, I'm just going to loop those momentarily while I get this on the right direction. Okay, so this is also attached, so the spikes are facing up. It's a little crowded here, but just trust me here. Sorry. Alright, now, here, we want to attach here we want to attach this one. Okay, so the one that's, you have 2 left of the ones that we made 6 of, and then we have this other larger green one. We're going to attach this larger green one to this peg here. Okay, so I'm going to go into here, go through your loops, okay, I'm going to just wrap that around this peg. It's a little tricky and very thick, so just be gentle with it, okay? Okay, now I need to attach one of these. Okay, we have 2 of these left to here, which I had already loomed, but we actually want to, you can use a pencil if you don't have another hook, but I'm just going to lift these 2 up and keep them on my hook, okay, whilst I attach this. Okay, so I'm going to go through the loops on this guy and attach this here, and then just replace those loops that my hook is holding, okay? Okay, I think I have it right so far. Ha ha ha. Okay, now we have 1 left. What I'm going to have to do is, just make sure these are all looped in here. I'm going to have to lift him up like 1 set, but you want to be careful because these aren't like looped up, so you just want to be very careful. So from the bottom, just lift up the first row. So this one, this one, this one, okay. Then I'm going to bring his side, see his side here? to bring it around, we want to find the next set of loose bands in here. So make sure they're all pulled toward the center. So the next set of caramel bands on this half of the body, you're going to be wrapping around these two pegs next up in line. Okay, now once I've done that, I'm going to loop up this edge set here. Okay, just that set. And now I'm going to take that final plate. I'm going to go through the loose ends. Wrap them around this peg here. Okay, so that wrapped around that peg, and then I want to loop up these two bands here. Don't forget to loop these up. Okay, very important. Alright, great. Yay! Now I'm going to lift him up another row. Okay, and now I'm going to look at his back, and I'm going to grab the next set of loose caramel bands, wrapping them around these two pegs, just those two, okay? And then I can loop up here and here. Okay, ooh, isn't this fun, guys? Hee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have a little bit ways to go. Okay, lift him up another row. Just one, okay. Wrap the next set of the caramel bands around these two pegs and loop up. Okay, lift them up another row. He's got a big set of plates on the back of his neck. It's like, looks like a flower. He's so cute. Alright, grab the next set in line, wrap them around these next two, loop up here and here. Okay, I'm going to do the next set as well. Loop up here and here. Okay, I'm going to lift him up a little more. I'm lifting him up 2 rows. Okay. Okay. Go through the next set. Wrap them around. Loop up. Okay, now here we're going to take one of those caramel spikes we made. Made 2 so far, but we will be making more eventually. We're going to wrap it around this peg here. Okay, then we're going to take the next set of the loose caramel bands, wrap them around these pegs, loop up, and loop up here. Okay, lift him up a little more. This is so that we don't end up overstretching those caramel bands. That's why I'm doing it this way. Okay. Grab the next set. You should have 2 sets left. Next set goes around here. Loop up, and loop up. Grab another one of those grab your other caramel spike and we're going to wrap it right around here. Grab that last set of the loose caramel bands, wrap them around that final set there, and just loop all the way up. Okay, now I'm going to take my white tying bands and tie off all 6 ends here. And then we can take him off and hopefully he didn't end up looking weird. Ha, ha, ha. This is only the front half of his body. Aren't you guys so thrilled? We still have the back half to do. And the tail and the tummy. Oh, look at him! Hee hee! So cute with all his little spiky bitchy thingy majiggy things. Okay. Aww, I like him. He's cute. Now eventually we can probably tie back these, okay, because they are sticking up. We can tie them back at the end. That's not a big deal. Okay. But for now we can take off all the tying bands except these 11 at the end, okay? So we can take off all the other ones, alright? So do that and then head to part 3 and I'll see you over there and we'll continue working on the back of his body. See you over there, everyone.